good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Village Board meeting for December 11th. I would like to ask our clerk to do a quick roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor Nero.
Here.
Clerk Simsky. Here. Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
Trustee Pirelli.
Here.
Trustee Plowman.
Here.
Trustee Scales.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Village Manager Gunther.
Here.
And Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here.
All right, if everybody can please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we got a big night tonight, so let's get right at it here. And up first is open forum. I'm not sure about this person, but I suppose we'll let her come up. Miss Plowman, please come up and talk about some big gala. There's a rumor on the street. It's coming up.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of the Westmont Lions. We're hosting, well, first of all, Westmont Lions is turning 90 years old January 6th.
Oh.
So we're having a big gala. It's going to be at Oakbrook Hills Hilton. It's going to be packed night. We're having a guest speaker coming down from Wisconsin. He is a Lion. He became blind at a very early age, and he just went through all the emotions. I mean, contemplated suicide and everything. He will put you on a roller coaster that you're laughing 1 minute and crying the next, and he's just phenomenal. And then, of course, we're going to have Mr. Nero, Mayor Nero, and Ron Gunther and that. So it's $50. You have a choice of chicken or a vegetarian meal and 2 drinks. And we have a boatload, I'm going to say boatload, I won't say the other word, a boatload of raffle prizes from Drury Lane to Paramount Theater to our nice village who has donated everything that they can to us, which is great. And we're still looking for donations for raffles, and we are looking for donations for our Spring Fling, which my co-partner will be speaking about soon. So if anyone is interested, you can go to Westmont Lions, WestmontLionsFoundation.org and order your tickets. Tickets have to be ordered before, no later, I'm going to say, than January 10th. So that we can get a final count.
When is the event? You did.
It's January 24th, I'm sorry, at 6 o'clock, yes. So we look forward to everyone coming. It's a public event. The more the merrier. We're capping it hopefully at 100. So get your tickets in. We need to support the Westmont Lions. We do a lot. So anything that you guys can do would be great. You have any questions?
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
All right,
Gonna
thank
be
you.
a big bash. All right, that is all the requests for open forums. We'll get right into board reports, and I will kick it off with a big holidays recap. What a great turnout for the parade. Thank you to everybody that was involved. It was a lot of fun. The weather cooperated. And I say this a lot, but that's honestly, that's one of the best nights in town, and there's nothing like it in the county that I've seen, where you have a parade, you have Santa, I mean, the list goes on. Just a wonderful family event, so we thank all those that participated. There's a ton of pictures on the Village website, so please check that out. And then up next, a little Village social media update. We do have an informal competition between our Village departments regarding how many likes we get from various posts on social media. And over the past month, you probably got this feeling we're a little busier than maybe in the past on social media, but there has been some good ones. And, this person is the winner, and I'm not too sure about it, but we'll give him some credit. His head's big enough, but the one person with the most likes on Facebook is our Fire Chief. Fire Chief Riley, who isn't here tonight, but Deputy Chief could pass on the word. He was one post at the conference. Another post, I think was second, was with me in it, so we won't give him all the credit. But other than that, I've noticed a lot of attention, and I appreciate the consistent effort. We want to please continue all of our departments to keep doing it up, to keep offering it up, and let communications know when you have something happening in town, and for the board, the same thing, because we want to keep that positive messaging going. And there truly is always something happening in Westmont, which I think is a testament to all our social media action that we've had as of late. So congratulations, Chief Riley. You are the informal winner, and I think our communications director is going to put together a nice certificate that he can hang up in his office or something. So, no, we appreciate it. I know he's always a good sport for things like that, and again, appreciate all the attention. And then last, just a quick comment. I want to thank Deputy Chief Frank and our Police Chief Gruen for joining me at Marker School this week. We were invited to speak to all the third graders, and it was a lot of fun. Again, it's a fun part of the job, but we got to ask some good questions. I think one of the biggest one was, are there any tsunamis here in Illinois, which was pretty easy to answer. The fire chief and I, we did talk about to our architects, a lot of the kids want a fire pole in the new fire station. So we got to try to figure that out. I know it's not the code anymore, but maybe there's a way we could do that. And then let's see, the last biggest thing was they wanted to tour the construction site. So I promised that, so we'll have to work that out once, shovels get in the ground, let the kids walk down the street and see the new fire station being built. But again, thank you two gentlemen for helping. I think we had well over 100 kids, so their help was greatly needed, because I sure couldn't have handled it on my own. So thank you guys for that. And that is all I have. I will pass it on to our village clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder, village offices will be closed with the upcoming holidays on December 24th, 25th, and 26th, as well as January 1st and January 19th. So please check the website to confirm if garbage pickup will be affected on specific dates. And on that note, we have severe cold and icy conditions supposedly coming over the next few days, so residents are reminded to be patient with their garbage and recycling when it's picked up in case there are delays. If there's ever a question about your pickup status, you can contact Flood at 630-261-0400. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Johanna Guzzo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting is March 5th, 4:30 here at Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. And Keep the Wreath Red program. Keep the Wreath Red is an annual program aimed at promoting fire safety during the holidays. Outside our Westmont fire stations are wreaths with red lights. The wreaths remain lit 24/7 during the holiday season, which runs December 1st through January 2nd. If a fire occurs that is determined to be the result of a holiday decoration, a white bulb will be removed, a red bulb will be removed, and a white bulb will be put in its place. The hope is that the wreath serves as a constant reminder to practice safety while displaying your holiday decorations. So far, there have been no fires due to decorations. Please, let's keep it that way. And then keep hydrants clear of snow. To allow the fire department quicker access during an emergency, residents should ensure a 3-foot clearance is maintained around any fire hydrants on their property. That help is definitely appreciated. I also want to send kudos out to Public Works and our village staff for all the snow removal and everything with that storm we had a few weeks ago. Thank you to them. And I just want to wish everyone a very safe and healthy holiday season. And Happy New Year. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Matt Scales.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Community Development Committee meeting will be on January 22nd of 2026, followed by, or I guess preceded by, the Planning and Zoning meeting, which will take place January 14th at 6 p.m. right here at Village Hall. And that is it.
Trustee Gina Pirelli.
Thank you, Mayor. For Public Works Committee, our next meeting is March 19th of 2026, but we actually had our meeting prior to this meeting. So I will try to do a recap of tonight's meeting. Once again, a shout out for all the snow removal from our Public Works team. Side note, we did get 9.5 inches from November 29th through the 30th, so it's a lot of snow. We talked about a lot of programs. We talked about the pavement management program, which is going to be able to help us preserve our roads in Westmont to keep them nice and safe so we don't get potholes and have to replace them constantly. Also, on the water division, there's a new regulation coming up. So starting in 2027, it will be mandatory. All lead pipes have to be out And I think he had a 10% rate for every year. I didn't catch, well, the meeting ended, so I don't know what year that goes to. But Westmont does have a replacement program, so if you want the pipes out sooner than 2027, you can contact the Public Works Department, and citizens can start the program sooner than 2027. So just contact the Public Works Department. And then also, we had updates on the fire department with the building design. It looks very lovely. We're all excited, and hopefully, if all goes well, it will start in the spring, and the final end date for the new fire station will be in the fall of 2027. So thank you, everyone, for your hard work on that, and look forward to a new station in 2027. And I think that's all I can write down that quickly.
Big update, thank you.
Yeah, who's trying?
All right.
So, thanks.
Trust-
Really quick.
One more.
Snow removal. If you have any questions about snow removal, everything's on the Westmont website. So, good.
Very good, thank you. Okay, trustee Bob Plowman.
Thank you, Mayor. Like to ditto trustee Guzzo and trustee Perilli on the snow removal. Got lots of fans in Westmont, so you can always tell on a snowstorm when you're driving to Westmont, it's like, oh, the roads are not better, so it's shout out to them. Also, I'd like to thank trustee Guzzo. I missed the last police safety committee meeting last time. Meetings got switched around, and it conflicted with an event that I already had planned for months prior, and it was a fundraiser for children and for it was called an underwear party, so it's yeah, it's not the kind of good time that you're thinking about, underwear party. They took in underwear for young children and they raised a lot of money, and they filled a lot for the I believe it was for United Way, right? Wasn't it for United Way? And the Lions. So the Lions were involved as well, but it was something I couldn't get out of. There was a Santa visit too, so you can put two and two together. Anyway, but thank you for the board, and thank you for Trustee Guzzo for taking that over for me. Also became a proud graduate of the Citizens Police Academy. Yoo-hoo! And I just want to thank the former chief and the current chief for a great program. When it comes up again and they ask you to partake, it's a great service. So it's you see all behind the scenes of the police station. Got to shoot a gun at a range. It's cool. Yeah, it's a wonderful program. So if you get the opportunity, make sure you take part in that. Also, with Christmas coming up, there's been a couple of changes in town and a couple of businesses that have opened up or moved. Mr. Wayne's, which is a couple doors down from City Hall, has a lot for kids that are involved with Marvel and toys and pop culture. He's running a great business down there. I was there when it opened, and there was people lined down the block ready to get in. You really don't see that from a retail store here in Westmont. So he's right off the tracks too, so it should get great attention. Also, there's a t-shirt vintage shop down here that sells concert t-shirts and college sweatshirts and things like that. But it's called Parks Vintage. It's right down here, a couple of doors down. I think it's right next to Mr. Wayne's, maybe. Also, there was just a new soap shop and candle shop opened by the Westmont Insurance. It used to be the Westmont Insurance place downtown, too. So, shop Westmont first. We're now having reasons for people to shop gifts. Westmont Florist, if you go in there, there's plenty of gift ideas there, just not floral ideas. So, when you're thinking of Christmas items, think about Westmont. So think about the people that invest in this town. Invest in them as well. Lastly, see it report. Westmont Police and Fire would like to remind residents to never hesitate calling 911 if they feel an emergency has taken place. More info on this has been published on the village website. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Linda Little.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held the first meeting of the year, 2026, and that's on January the 8th, 4:30, right here in Village Hall. Obviously, everybody's invited to attend. The Park District is having their Winter Beer Fest. They'll host it on Saturday, February the 14th, so Valentine's Day. They're going to have a big one. It's from 2 to 6 at Ty Warner Park in Westmont, and you can purchase your tickets and give them to your sweetie for Valentine's Day, and they can be purchased through the Park District website. Don't forget that Dementia Friendly Westmont, the library, will host several programs that support people with dementia and their caregivers. For more information, visit the library website. New Pet Palooza event. Westmont Special Events is working on a new event. The first annual Pet Palooza will be held in May. Look for details to be shared soon. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bruce Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. The Environmental Improvement Committee, their next meeting is going to be on January 5th at the library at 5:30 p.m. We also, at this time, have holiday lights recycling. Bins are now in place at the library and fire headquarters for residents to drop off unwanted or broken holiday lights to be recycled. We have a Christmas tree pickup program through Flood Brothers. We'll pick up Christmas trees from December 29th to January 30th. Trees must be free of decorations, tinsel, and lights. Please see the news release for more information. And then we're also environmentally looking at the salt use in Westmont, and residents and businesses are encouraged to use salt responsibly at their homes and businesses. Only 12% of this is needed to cover a 250 square foot driveway, or about 10 sidewalks, 12 ounces, or 10 sidewalk squares. And the importance of that, as I learned this a while back, is any salt that you put on the ground and it gets into the waterways, it stays there. It does not go anywhere. It just contaminates them, makes them worse. And then talking about waterways, we did have a conversation earlier at the Public Works Committee meeting about Westmont stormwater ordinance and looking at updating that so it's more in line with the county for various reasons. And part of the conversation there was, if we're changing an ordinance or looking at that or reviewing it, we want to make sure that Westmont as a village continues to do all the things that we've done for the last 10, 12 years to improve stormwater conditions in our community. We spend a lot of time, money, and manpower to make sure that we're improving the community. And the conversation at the committee meeting was that we're going to continue to do that. So we have a commitment to that. Why we're taking a look at something that says less restrictive, but less restrictive doesn't mean it's harmful to the stormwater situation in this community. And I think that's the value in that conversation. But I appreciate the work of the staff and their in-depth look at these things to make sure that we're taking a step forward. That is all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're going to move right into our two public hearings we have tonight. The first one, A, public tax levy hearing for the village. Board to conduct a public hearing regarding the property tax levy for the village of Westmont, and I will call up Director Altig.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board.
Do I have to say I'm opening it? What? Do I say I'm opening it now? or what?
Be a little nostalgic. It puts like it's kindergarten now.
Okay, just for the record, we are opening the public forum.
Public hearing.
Public hearing. Thank you, sir.
So this is just the public hearing. I'm going to introduce and open up this item and talk for a couple minutes about this item, and then the actual passage of the tax levy will happen later on tonight under new business. So this is just to talk about it, provide the public hearing. It'll get approved later on tonight at the tail end of the meeting tonight. Okay. So up on the screen is the proposed tax levy. The total proposed tax levy for the village for the 2025 levy, which will be collected during calendar year 2026. That total is $11,299,022 and represents the village's share plus the library's share as well. Do you want to point out the proposed levy has an increase of 4.89%. I will say the village is subject to PTAL, state statute, so when the dust settles, the village really won't get likely 4.89%. What it will get is CPI, which is an inflationary index that the state sets, which for this year is set at 2.9%. And we're able to capture revenues from new new construction. So if someone adds on a new wing to their house, or a new business is built, or a major addition is done to a business, or if a property is torn down and a new building is put into its place, that would be new construction. So when the dust settles and this DuPage County applies PTAL, the typical homeowner that doesn't have maybe a new wing put on their house, your typical resident will see a $30 increase to their property tax bill for the village's share. And I do want to point out that the village is a small portion of your typical resident's overall tax bill at about 10%. And the only thing I want to point out is our property tax rate has been decreasing over the last several years. I expect that to again continue on in 2026 as the actual rate assessed for the assessed value would again decline this next year as it has the last several years. That's all I want to talk about at this point. If there's any questions for me, or if there's anyone.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody in the public that would like to speak for this item? Any board member comments? And I will close the public hearing for A, and we'll move into B, another property tax levy hearing, Village of Westmont Special Service Area 2. Board to conduct a public hearing regarding the property tax levy for the Village of Westmont Special Service Area 2. Director Altig.
Yeah. So this is the Liberty Park neighborhood for.
We are opening the hearing.
So for everyone's awareness, this is the Liberty Park area or neighborhood. This is to serve as for the fire department to come in and serve that neighborhood. So this is the levy to provide those types of services. This levy has a proposed increase of 4.99%, which is under the 5% PTAL. If you're under 5%, you don't necessarily have to do a full public hearing, but I do want to point out that we did a full disclosure in the newspaper. I do want to point out that we did take those efforts anyway, being good stewards, and did put notice in the newspaper regarding this public hearing and passage of the tax levy here tonight. That's all for me. If anyone has any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the public or the board?
Did you receive any comments back from anybody on that? From the
No,
public notice?
I have not.
Yeah, they just.
Okay.
Hearing no more, we're going to close the public hearing. All right, thank you, sir. Moving right on, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will ask Manager Gunther to read the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, under item A on the consent agenda, we have village board minutes, board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held November 20th, 2025. Item B, finance ordinances. Tonight we have two finance ordinances, number 24 and number 25. Finance ordinance number 24 is in the amount of $2,762,581.86. Finance ordinance number 25 is in the amount of $1,621,010.95. Under item C, purchase orders, we have Thomas Dodge Chrysler Jeep of Highland Incorporated in the amount of $90,367. This is for one 2026 Dodge Durango as a detective vehicle and one 2026 Dodge Durango patrol vehicle. Item 2, Curry Motors in the amount of $130,742. This is for the purchase of two 2026 Ford Utility Police Interceptors for the patrol division and one 2026 Ford Maverick pickup truck, and this will be for our community service officer. Item 3 is Nextiva at $35,000 even. This is for a village-wide phone system, replacing a legacy system that we've had since 2008. Item 4, ZAF ACP Holdings in the amount of $39,000, and this is for an IT network security threat monitoring and alert system. Item 5, the total of the purchase orders is $204,742. Item D, the total of purchase orders in the finance ordinance number 24 and 25 is $4,588,334.81. And finally, item E, the October 2025 monthly board treasurer's report. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Scales.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to new business. Item A, CP2 Consulting Strategic Plan Stakeholders Report. I need a motion to postpone this to January 8th, please.
Motion, Scales.
Second Guzzo.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on. B, lot coverage variance request 225 South William Street. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from Matthew and Karen Robert for the property at 225 South Williams in Westmont for a zoning ordinance variance to the maximum lot coverage in the R3 Single Unit Residential District. Director Hennerfine is ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Board. So what's before you, we've seen several lot coverage variance requests recently. This is a similar one to some that we've had. So this is a property. Lot coverage maximums in town are either limited to 35% or up to 40%, whether you're in one of those low depressional areas, which you heard us talk about some of those earlier. This is a property that is not in a low depressional area. They would typically be allowed to max out at 40%. This home was built with a very large driveway, which takes up a lot of square footage. The home has a very small wood deck landing coming out of the backside of the property. I believe it's about 90 square feet. The homeowners have always wanted to do a larger patio out back, and so they're proposing an increase there. So the increase to a 41.6 lot coverage, or 42% because we're rounding, is what would be requested here. Typically, we see some of these recommendations come with our engineers' comments. For engineering, they actually don't count decks the same way that zoning does. They count decks as zero, because usually the water can infiltrate under the deck. So the engineer has not recommended any kind of mitigation. So sometimes you hear dry wells or other things. Engineer doesn't recommend that here, because actually for engineering purposes, whether you have 1 square foot of deck or 1,000 square feet of deck, they treat it the same as it is pervious material. So the petitioners are here tonight if you have any questions for them, and I can always try to answer your questions too.
Thank you, sir. Since they're here, they want to come up and say hello? Yeah, all right.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Karen, this is Matt.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for coming. Sounds like a good project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else other than maybe what Joe had said?
No, it's pretty straightforward, just a backyard deck.
Big barbecues planned then, if this goes your way?
Yeah,
Any questions from the board since
How
we're...
long you lived in town?
We purchased a townhouse actually initially in 2021,
Yes.
and then we just purchased this home for a single-family home last year.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Scales.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll be expecting the barbecue invite soon.
Thank you all so much.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming. All right, moving on to C, special use permit request, tobacco and vape retail store at 101 West Ogden Avenue, Suite B. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from JARE Enterprises LLC, DBA Lit Smokes, and WL Property Acquisitions LLC for the property at 101 West Ogden Avenue in Westmont for a zoning ordinance special use permit for a tobacco and vape retail store in the B2 General Business District. Director Hennerfine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and actually I'm going to start this off with a question for the attorney. My petitioner is not here when we expected them. I could either go through this and we could try to move it to the end of the agenda. I could do this and I believe we can still take a vote if that's the preference. However, I can't answer questions like the petitioner can answer questions. So I guess I'm looking at some direction on how we want to proceed.
It's really up to the board. The petitioner was present at the public hearing and testified. It was recommended for approval by planning and zoning, so it's not necessary that the petitioner is here in person. unless the board has questions, and in which case it can postpone this action, or, as you suggested, move it until the end of the agenda, see if the petitioner shows up. It's really up to the board. If the board is inclined to approve it and has no questions, then you can vote now on it.
Yes, sir.
I had some questions, but I don't know if it would require the petitioner to be here. I don't know if somebody could give me a brief history on, because from my understanding, the business was supposed to be something else, right? And then that
Yeah, so maybe we should get through Joe's presentation, try to answer any questions the board has, and if there are still questions for the petitioner, then we can decide how to handle it.
Perfect.
Okay, so thank you. So what this is a special use for what we call a tobacco and vape store. So in our zoning ordinance, we've always given a critical eye on tobacco and vape stores and their locational and where they're placed and how they're operated. So it is a special use in our system. This space, actually, so if you remember this building, this used to be a Boston Market, and then it was purchased by Starbuds, the cannabis retailer, and they didn't need the entire space. So they actually subdivided this space. It's the drive-through side of the original building when it was a fast food restaurant. And there was supposed to be a business in there called Wake and Bakery, I believe is what it was called. At the time, they had a partnership with someone that was a baker. They had done that in other communities, not in DuPage County. They found after they built out the space, because they got permits through the village to build out the space, they found out from the county that some of the non-food additives that they wanted to add to the food product could not be done in DuPage County. So the bakery concept kind of stalled and stopped. So what this is one of the owners of the cannabis retailer is looking at opening a smoke shop in the space. They are looking to still utilize the drive-through, but not for tobacco products, because they are not allowed to do that. There's a restriction there. But what it is there is an underlying special use for a drive-through that's there that was awarded to the previous restaurant uses. They want to make sure that they keep that going so that they don't lose the ability to have a drive-through, and that is just so that they can keep their business plan flexible. So they're looking to establish a smoke and vape shop. It is not the same as the cannabis retailer next door, so they're not retailing cannabis out of this space, just tobacco and vape and other associated products.
I'd point out that they have completely separate entrances, and there's no way to cross between a tobacco and vape store into the cannabis retail store. You'd have to go outside, walk around, and go in the other entrance.
Yes. They plan on operating from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and 3 to 5 employees is what they feel they will have at peak capacity.
Do we know how many current vape stores we have in Westmont?
I'm making a guess, I would probably say exclusive tobacco and vape stores is probably less than 5. We do have a lot of retailers that have tobacco licenses in addition to their other businesses.
Now, does that include gas stations that sell vape, or?
Technically, I don't think exclusive vape that is not a tobacco product needs a license through us.
That is correct. There have been some discussions with the Deputy Liquor Commissioner, who also is the Deputy Tobacco Commissioner, and former mayor, about licensing the sale of vape products, but there hasn't been clear direction to move forward with that.
Director Hannafine, I have a question. Can you go back about the drive-through? You mentioned something about being able to keep it operational. I missed that part.
So what it is when you give a special use for a drive-through, if you stop using the drive-through, the special use will eventually expire. It's
What's that timeline?
Usually 1 year.
1 year.
And so they have a facility that has a built-in drive-through. They want to be able to sell product out the window that is not related to the tobacco license. Keep perpetuating that. If I was taking a guess, it's so that if another business ever moves in there, they can easily have a drive-through readily available. If that expires, then they have to go back through Planning and Zoning and Village Board to get the drive-through use reapproved.
Reapproved, okay.
So, I'm sorry, so smoke and vape, what else would they sell at a smoke and vape shop that you'd need a, I mean, I know they want to keep it, but, I mean,
I'm probably not the best person to answer that. That would be a question for them. I do believe that they will be selling some paraphernalia that can be used for smoking, which are typically pipes or things like that.
At the public hearing, it was said merchandise, so I don't know if they're going to have T-shirts and branded mugs, or if the merchandise was smoking paraphernalia.
So, and that would be a question that I had to, the best answer or correct answer, mine might not have been correct, so.
Joe, did you say, is it separate? No, is somebody leasing it from the owner, or is it two different businesses, or is it the same owner running two different businesses?
It's two different businesses. It would be two different business license. I know that the owner of this is one of the part owners of the cannabis business. So I think one of the, I believe they're brothers. I think one of the brothers is actually running this business.
I point out that the village does occasionally do underage tobacco stings throughout the village, so one thing that could occur is go through the drive-through,
well, that's what
ask to buy a tobacco product and see if it's sold, and, you know.
So I had a question related to that, right? So I thought at the P&Z presentation, they stated that they didn't want to do anything to jeopardize the other business, but now there's separate buildings in that they're walled off and everything, and they're separate businesses. So if they were, and they can't, you know, it's odd to me, you can't sell cigarettes out the window, but you can run into the store and get them, which is, I don't want you buying cigarettes anyway, but, you know, to have to enforce that, the other business isn't in jeopardy at all, more than likely. So the only thing that's, you know, in jeopardy for violations would be potentially the use of the drive-up window.
Their tobacco license would be in jeopardy, ultimately.
Right. But that doesn't have anything to do with the other side, right? Is that a tobacco license?
Correct.
So it's under the same license?
No. They have a separate tobacco license for the lit smoke store.
Well, okay, so they are separate.
And then they have the approvals from the state and the zoning approvals from the village for their cannabis retail store, two completely separate businesses. Right. While they do share a common owner, they're on paper completely separate corporations.
Okay, so my point was there's no enforcement to that. It just seems odd that you'd want to restrict it to, you know, walk in and get cigarettes or paraphernalia through a window that has potential to make you a lot of money.
I think he said that was a county thing.
A state. I think they said it was part of the Smoke-Free Illinois Act, which I did see online through one resource, but I didn't find it in the act when I quickly looked during the meeting. But they agreed they are not going to sell tobacco products through the drive-through.
I believe we would probably put that in the ordinance, or no?
Well, I meant to, and I just have a note that I'm going to add that.
Sorry, John.
The only reason it's here, though, is because we want to be aware of vape shops coming in, right? That's the only reason it's special use?
It's because the zoning, yeah, I guess, because.
Because it's allowed in that.
It's when you're looking at a special use, you want to make sure that the use fits the area, fits the building, isn't detrimental to the adjacent properties, you know, doesn't cause traffic issues or anything.
It is a permitted use or it's not?
It is what's called a special use. So that is, it might be okay if you look at the conditions of the building and the location and the operation, and then if you can say that there's no negative effect on the adjacent properties, on traffic and circulation, on safety, on the measures of a special use. Those are some of the primary ones. That then you could say, well, no, this works here. So I'll give you an example. We had a special use for a dance company in the downtown.
Right.
And they said, we're going to mitigate our pickup drop-off. And they had a plan, and it still caused negative effect on the traffic
Right.
that we had there.
So the vape, east of there on Ogden, east of there, there's another vape shop.
No, I know.
And they're there for the same reason, right? Special use, same conditions.
I believe the one that is further east predates the requirements for a smoke shop.
Okay.
So I don't, because we only introduced the smoke shop requirement, I want to say it was probably 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Before that, it was a permitted use. So I don't think that one had to go through a special use.
There's no argument to say that if you have one up there on Ogden already,
Okay.
you're not obligated, right?
No, you can't make zoning decisions based on competition or too much.
No, not to restrict it, but I'm gonna say if you allowed it here, a block and a half over, are you kind of inclined to allow it there too, right? We know, like, we didn't want it in the CBD. Ogden Avenue was kind of fair game for something like this.
Right.
Like it or not, I guess that's my point.
Yeah, you can't use the fact that there's another vape store in close proximity as grounds for denying this request.
So what
Or
can,
approving it, since it was done predated, correct? Before we had any of our
There's
special
no
use
precedent
requirements.
to have to approve it because there's one that was approved prior
That's
before
what he
special
was-
use was required,
Right.
right? I have a quick question again. I just want to go back to the drive-through because I was on the P and Z when we approved this project in the first place. So they have to be coming close to their 1-year sunset, correct, on the...
It gets a little technical. They tried to move forward with the bakery.
Yeah.
They have permits for the bakery. That actual date probably moved from the original zoning approval. So I don't think they're quite as close as you think. And then if they continue to market it in a similar manner, there's some nuances there.
Because
So-
they're showing intent to try to get that special use utilized.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to be detrimental to their business, but in reality, if they came back and they hit their special use for the drive-through specifically expired, they could come in and request a special use going through P and Z to get the drive-through reapproved. It's already physically there.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion scales?
Second, Plowman?
Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that the original plan didn't work out, because I'd have been all for it, been all supportive of if the original plan, if it was just all cannabis. The confusing thing is the drive-through. What are you getting out of a drive-through? If you're getting mugs and T-shirts, it just seems weird to me. It's also weird that something this important that we don't have representation to actually ask the questions, so I'm not quite sure, what I want to say, how invested they are if they're not here, so, to answer questions. So, those are my comments.
Thank you. Any other comments?
You want to go ahead? or-
I was just saying, sort of ditto his comments, especially the use of a drive-through, and I don't know, I just find it, and then,
If you want more information, you have the right to ask for a motion to postpone this to the next village board meeting. That would take precedent over the pending motion to approve, and we would vote on the motion to postpone first.
Or we vote as is?
Or you can vote up or down as is.
Or, I believe, or you can move it to the end of the agenda, just in case they show up.
And I'm just going to say, I had questions or some concerns about the drive-through as well. How is it going to be, I don't want to say policed, but that's pretty much what a concern I had was, okay, you're going to go through the drive-through. Oh, wait, no, you need to come on in. And I'm just afraid of, there's going to be a lot of confusion there. And that would be something that I would like to get some answers on as well.
And for the record, I'm less concerned about the drive-through. I think coming back in, and if it was to expire, they have the ability to likely come in with another user and reapply for that special use for the drive-through itself, regardless of the use type.
So, Attorney Zimnick, what is the rules of selling paraphernalia through as far as age limits on kids buying pipes through the window, or it's not really the actual product, but it's the paraphernalia. So what?
I don't know, there's obviously age limits for tobacco, for cannabis, et cetera. The paraphernalia used to be, you would probably know this, but used to be illegal to sell.
It used to be illegal to sell, correct?
But now cannabis-related paraphernalia is legal to sell, but I don't know that there's an age limit on selling a pipe. I'm not aware of that.
12-year-old.
Do we have any other motions? If not, we'll do a roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Scales,
No.
trustee Plowman,
No.
trustee Barker,
No.
trustee Guzzo.
No.
Trustee Little,
No.
trustee Pirelli.
No.
Motion fails. Thank you, sir. Moving right on. D. All right, we're going to pick it up, a little positivity here. Community event request 2026 Lions Club Spring Fling event. We needed this, so thank you guys for being here. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following request for the 2026 Spring Fling celebration hosted by ours very truly, Westmont Lions Club Foundation, Thursday, May 21st through Sunday, May 24th. And we have Alicia to tell us a little bit about it, and also some guests here as well. I hear it's supposed to be bigger than better than ever, so have at it.
Thank you, Mayor and Village Board. Good evening. Before you today is a request from the Lions Club for an annual Spring Fling event. The event is 4 days in duration and will take place May 21st through May 24th of 2026. Usually this item would appear on the consent agenda, but there's a request for a location change, which is West Quincy Street from Cass Avenue to Adams Street, which is right outside our doors. The request is, the event will feature a fireworks display, and alcohol will be served at this event. Dan from the Lions Club is here to give more details and answer any questions that you might have.
Wow.
Dan?
He seems excited. I think we got to get him up here.
There will be alcohol.
And fireworks, holy cow.
It's our 90th birthday, and it's the country's 250th birthday, so it's a celebration for fun here, and we're going to kick it off with some extra good stuff. We got a lot of good stuff. Bingo, just got those licenses actually this week. I mean, we got a rock climbing wall. Want to get the petting zoo in there, but I'm trying to fit it still. Bigger carnival, more rides than ever. We'll have 24 rides scheduled for this coming year. 4 days of music. The first day, which is super important, we'll open the gates because I want to showcase Westmont. Just like how Taste of Westmont uses the South Stage, I want to do kind of something similar and showcase all the musicians and people that are here in Westmont, give them a chance, because obviously you have the main stage with music, and those are the acts to get people out, have fun, eat, drink. But we want to showcase people in Westmont, so all Thursday is just going to be almost like an open mic, but there's 15 or 16 scheduled slots where Westmont residents will be able to actually get up there, whether it's if you're a comedian, comedy comedian,
Gotcha.
or a musician. So lots of good fun though, like I said. And then
Cool.
Saturday is in between the music acts is where while they're playing, the huge fireworks show will go off. There will be no drones, but through the Lions, we contribute $5,000, and I will also personally be contributing probably a match and go all out for both the 90th and the 250. So lots of fun. New location. We've been growing in size. We've outgrown Ty Warner. It's just one of those things as we get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what happens. So we wanted to go to 63rd Street, but we were struck down by the businesses. So this is the next biggest spot that we have, bringing it back kind of, I think it was the old powwow days while I was a little one. So, and everything we do here is just fun. So it's all about community at the end of the day, right? And all of this is what you guys get to hear about, all the things we do in the community. So this raises those funds.
We love it. We thank you and appreciate your generosity. I heard you sneak that in typical Dan B fashion. It's not the first time that he contributes a lot financially. Extremely generous, and
Helps lessen the tax burden.
the Lions Club appreciate, the community appreciates you. You do a lot for this village, so thank you, sir.
I love it. Thank you guys very
Pretty
much.
clear. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Scales.
Any other comments? Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment, so make sure that our businesses on Quincy have a positive experience, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Other than that, it's going to be a hell of a party, right?
Yeah, and one of the things too, so Leo from Tapatio is actually a vendor normally. What I want to really encourage these businesses to do, open your doors. Just because there's going to be rides there, bring the people in. Yeah, we're going to have food vendors, but I want you running specials. I want you bringing people into the business. There's 35, 40,000 people that are going to cross the door over the 4 days. This is wide open for them.
Can you come to the?
I'm sorry.
So the hard part here is parking, right?
Yes,
Where do their
yeah.
patrons park to?
Yeah, so I did work that out. I've been speaking with Larry and Alicia. So we have all of Burlington. The parking is wide open. I believe we counted 210 spots or something like that. All of the south side, just like we did Oktoberfest prior to COVID, we utilized the south side of the town, and people, flood in. Obviously, you got the village parking there, but it's going to be primarily the Burlington and the south side of the tracks.
Yeah, we just want to make sure it's positive, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. We started doing the preliminary notices, and we'll start actually walking those out. And if there's any concerns, they can call me, they can email me, snail mail.
Perfect.
I'll answer.
Perfect, thank you.
Comment that I'd like to make too is the spring fling was held behind Jewel at Ty Warner Park, so people had to know that it was back there. Here with access to the train lines, so when they see the carnival start going up, I think that's going to be a great marketing for us, bringing in residents from local towns when they start seeing, oh, they're having a fest downtown. So we're going to be more visible downtown and you've got the okay from Metro, right?
Yes, it took me 4 days, and I got the permit already. So that's all done.
That's great.
Yep. Anything else? Just let me know.
We will. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Moving on, E, public institutional PI rezoning and special use permit request, Village Hall, 31 West Quincy Street. Board to consider 2 requests from the Village of Westmont for the property at 31 West Quincy Street, right here at Village Hall, for the following. A, zoning map amendment to rezone the property from the B1 Central Business District to the PI Public and Institutional District. And B, a zoning ordinance special use permit to operate a governmental use in the PI District. Director Hennerfein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we have 3 items that are all very similar tonight. So this is basically a continuation of the new zoning ordinance that we adopted, I believe, in August. And one of the things that we did is we created a new zoning district that was called the PI, which is the Public and Institutional District. If you remember, that district basically serves public institutional uses. Right now, the way it operates in our old zoning ordinance was we allowed public and institutional businesses, governmental entities, schools, churches, in any district as a special use. We have a lot of ones that have been here for a very long time that predate the special use processes. So all this is, there's no changes being proposed at Village Hall. We are trying to lead by example. So obviously, we're not going to rezone the schools, we're not going to rezone the churches, we're not going to rezone some of the properties we don't control. We will take advantage if they are doing a change on their properties to say, when you make that change, you need to rezone. But we're leading by example. So Village Hall requires both a rezoning from the B1 Central Business District to the PI District, and then there is a special use associated with this. Basically, if you don't know the operations of Village Hall, is during the day it operates as an office that is open to the public. In the evenings, it's often filled with meetings like we're having tonight. Otherwise, as a governmental use goes, it's fairly quiet, has very little impact on the adjacent neighborhood. I can answer any questions you might have.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion, Scales.
Second, Little?
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, F, right back at you, Joe. Public institutional PI rezoning request, North Water Tower at 925 Oakwood Drive. Board to consider requests from the Village of Westmont for the property at 925 Oakwood Drive for a zoning ordinance map amendment to rezone the property from the R3 Single Unit Residential District to the PI Public and Institutional District. Director Hennerfein.
Okay, so this is a very similar one. If you didn't notice, we're trying to do the low-hanging fruit, the easy ones, that have very little impact. So when the new water tower was proposed, it was, I think, 2 years ago now, we did a special use on that property. It is zoned R3, so residential. We are asking to rezone it to the PI. We do not need to have a new special use approved because there's already one that exists there. So that's why this request is only a rezoning. That property, if you don't know, will house the new water tower, which is going up now. It is typically accessed, I believe, once a day to do some water quality. We have an easement across the property to the north. Otherwise, it is fairly low impact, other than the fact that the high school will get their sign up on there and everyone will see it. So I can answer any questions for you.
Thank you, sir. Have a motion to approve.
Motion Scales?
Second Plowman?
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little? Yes. Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Joe, last one, G, various zoning entitlements, Public Works Yard, 328 South Wilmette Avenue. Board to consider requests from the Village of Westmont for the property at 328 South Wilmette Avenue for the following. 1, zoning ordinance map amendment to rezone the property from the R3 Single Unit Residential District to the PI Public and Institutional District. 2, zoning ordinance special use permit to operate a governmental use in the PI Public and Institutional District. 3, preliminary plan of subdivision to consolidate 5 lots into 1 lot. 4, zoning ordinance variance to the minimum front yard setback. 5, major site plan approval. Whew. Director Hennerfein.
Thank you, Mr.
Then you
Mayor.
can take a nap after this
Yeah,
one, don't worry.
So this one is a little bit more involved. So we're going to see if I can handle it, and we don't have to ask Amy to come up. So what this is this is the old streets department. If you remember, we tore down the main building there years ago, and I'll have used it as a storage yard for many years now. What they'd like to do on this property is first build a storage building. So we talked about the fire department earlier today. That building would be utilized for a short period of time. Now, we're not asking for the temporary use of that building tonight. That will come later when they move forward with their fire department requests. But this is to get that building built. In addition, they have a salt dome building that they would like to look at building. I don't believe it's in this year's budget, it's in a future budget, but they'd like to get the approvals for those. Now, if you know this property, there is about a 7-foot fence that goes all the way around the property, and it goes almost all the way to the sidewalk on both Wilmette and on 55th. So, our zoning ordinance basically presumes that everyone has a front yard. There's really no front yard on this property, but the Wilmette side is technically the front. So both of those buildings will be fairly close to the front. The requirement in this district would be 25 feet. The storage building, I believe, is at 10 feet, and the potential salt dome is going to be at, I think, 15 or 17 feet. So they are getting the variances secured so that they can place those behind the fence in what would typically be considered the front yard. This property, because we've held on to it for a very long time, is also on many different lots. Whenever we are trying to do a project, we want to try to consolidate those all onto one lot. So that's what the preliminary plan of subdivision is we're taking 5 lots and combining them into one. Now, what's not happening tonight is the final plat. Someday in the future, I'll come back with a really simple case that says the final plat's ready to approve. It's in substantial compliance with this preliminary plan. I typically don't accompany it with a memo that explains what it is. It's basically the last piece of approval before we can run to the county and record that document. There is that zoning variance that I mentioned, and then there is what's called a major site plan approval. So basically, site plan approval that authorizes the buildings that are there. The thing I skipped over is a special use. So this is a governmental use in the new PI district. There was never one established that we could continue like we can with that water tower. So basically, this property functions as a storage yard. It stores products, it stores equipment. It is utilized in many different ways. It has the water tower that's there. It has cellular services on that water tower. That is not changing. So I can answer any questions, and any that I can't answer, I have backup if necessary.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Plowman.
Second, Barker.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Go ahead. Lots of questions on this one.
Number 5 says there's a major site plan approval. So you have a master plan for that whole location.
It's not that there's a master plan. What it is the new zoning ordinance. We have minor site plan approvals and major. This one crosses the threshold to major. And then the approval processes vary. So a minor site plan approval may not necessarily have to come to the board. This one we say was major, so it has to come all the way to the end.
So I guess the problem that I'm having, right, is we're talking about, we got a building that's gonna go in there, we got a salt dome that's gonna go in there, we have a water tower that exists, and we're just placing them. You know, my last visit there was before they tore it down, and it was Westmont's armpit. Back then, I'm assuming we haven't made a lot of improvements over there, except they did, you know, put the fence up nicely so it hid some of that garbage. But it's just a matter of if there's an overall plan there and there's buildings that are gonna go in there, I'd like to know that we thought the whole thing out. And then if there's something available, you know, at another meeting, right? But if we thought the whole thing out, and we should be able to see that soon.
Before Amy speaks, so in the plan that's there, they do plan out a lot of bins and other things that they typically need in those. She'll confirm if that's like a finalized plan. We have mechanisms in the new zoning ordinance for administrative site plan approvals for minor tweaks and smaller buildings. We still have a minor site plan approval that can go through the public process, and then if we determine it to be a major. So our processes are designed now so that we don't always have to bring everything to the board. I just can't speak to the future plans.
Yeah, well, and that's, so there's, you know, there's a guy that I know, I was in a construction company. He can get all the contracts in the world for $99,999. When it gets to $100,000, then people want to know, hey, where the money's going, right? I just want to know that we have a plan, because the last time I remember it, I would hate to put a building over there based on the conditions that were there. And so if we have an overall plan, let's try to share that.
You want to speak to that?
It's your cue.
Sure. We spent a lot of time on the site plan, trying to place the buildings, trying to look at the site circulation with the constraints that we have on the site now. There's a large detention pond on the west side of the site.
What are you keeping?
We're keeping the old building because we value the storage that's in it. It is still in decent condition, and we will continue to utilize that building as storage until it fully depreciates. We're building a new building that in the interim, short term, will house the fire department. In the long term, will provide us with much needed covered storage. And then we also have a footprint designated for a future salt dome that will be built in 2 to 3 years. But we had to site plan for that because the salt is delivered in semi-trucks. Those semi-trucks have to be able to pull into the gates. They have to be able to back up to the dome, dump, make all the turns to get out. We also ran auto turn analysis of the fire truck turning movements to make sure that they could get in and out of the site properly. So we did do a pretty exhaustive planning, you know, scenarios of all the different things, and including the cell towers and the water tank that's on the site.
Do you still have the picture in the computer that you can show the site plan that we showed at the last meeting?
I might be able to get to last night's presentation.
That showed it very clearly that there was an extra building.
Maybe I missed that.
Trustee Plowman, did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I watched the P&Z meeting previously, and I know some of the concern was traffic. And with the new building coming in, so has the services changed, firehouse aside, has the services changed for that area, how much more traffic are we getting in and out of that area?
The traffic will not be changing in the long term from what it was. There's previously been a lot more traffic there when that was the main operation site for the street division. There was a lot more traffic there. There was people that were working out of there, employees that were there in and out all day, even perhaps members of the public that were in and out all day. So here's an image of the site plan.
There we go.
So,
Oh, I've seen it.
So yeah, there's going to be considerably less traffic there. It'll be very similar to what it is now. We do stage material storage out of there, spoil piles. We will be storing equipment there in those buildings, like off-season equipment, like the street sweeper goes in there in the winter because it's too cold, things like that. So we have thought about this to try to make this site work for us in the long term and work for the fire department in the short term.
So it looks like building this might improve that.
Oh yeah, the site is going to be
Armpit,
cleaned up
right?
considerably.
Which is
It's going to be
So,
it's going to be cleaned up considerably. It's going to be paved, which should make a big
That's a
difference
big
too.
difference. We
Just in terms of
Andrew and I rode
cleanliness
in
and
there.
making sure
It's like a minefield.
residue doesn't get tracked out of the site, and the fencing will be improved. Will be much more attractive for the neighbors in the neighborhood. So, yeah, a lot of landscaping.
okay.
John's going to plant a lot of trees out there. The detention basin is going to be naturalized. So
I know a neighbor of it's going to be very, very happy when this is done.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
If I could, just one more comment.
Yep.
You guys are great. You guys are doing good work.
They're not short of work, that's for sure, right?
Not at all.
Yes, Trustee
This is
Little.
directly across the street from my house.
I see
And I
that.
can't tell you how excited I am to have it. I know the neighborhood isn't real excited because they think it's going to be increasing traffic, but I have a feeling it's going to improve the traffic a great deal. What they're not paying attention to is the opportunity for the fire department to have a place to be. And then when they're done with the building, Public Works owns it and can utilize it. So I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing addition. Thank you.
That's great. Any other comments? Anybody from the public? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
And Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, moving right on. H, Master Services Agreement with ClearPath GPS. Board to consider an ordinance approving a master service agreement between ClearPath GPS and the Village of Westmont. And I have our IT Director, Logeberg.
So this is just a one-to-one replacement for the non-police vehicles for in-car cameras and GPS tracking. So it's strictly a vendor change and approval with the agreement.
Thank you, sir.
Can you, because it's not on the agenda, if you know it offhand, know the cost of this?
Yeah, the total contract cost is $24,000.
And that's an annual
Is
recurring, subject to?
It is annual renewal, not that whole amount, but most of that is, yeah, on a monthly stipend. Some of that is initial upfront costs.
Do we have a motion to approve?
To approve Guzzo.
Second Little?
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, moving right on. I, Nextiva Service Agreement. Board to consider an ordinance approving a 3-year agreement with Nextiva for village-wide phone system. Director Logeberg.
This again is a budget item. It's retiring our 18-year-old phone system and moving to a cloud-based phone system that will allow greater flexibility during emergencies and as well as ability to work and text through a controlled environment besides just on in-house phone systems. So very similar to what you would have through like Comcast now. It's all IP-based hosted phone service. So.
Thank you. No motion to approve.
Motion Scales.
Second Plowman.
Any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Are you able to change vendors after 3 years, or is this proprietary?
It's not proprietary. So, and the phones that we are getting are usable on any vendor's phone system, so.
Thank you.
Any others? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on, J, Westmont Center lease agreement. Board to consider an ordinance approving a Westmont Center lease with the Westmont Special Events Corporation. Assistant Manager Parker.
As noted, this is just to reapprove basically the existing lease that we have. The pricing is updated from when it was before, but it's just continuing on the lease. It'll run from January through December, and after that, it will move to a month-to-month lease. That's right about the same time that our current leases with our representative and state senator there expire.
Which is very good. That additional background is helpful. So I have a motion to approve.
Motion Scales.
Second Plowman?
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. K, boundary line agreement with Downers Grove. Board to consider an ordinance approving a boundary line agreement between the Village of Westmont and the Village of Downers Grove. Attorney Zemanak.
The village previously had a boundary line agreement with the Village of Downers Grove dating back to 1991. It was for a 20-year term, which is the maximum term allowed by statute. It expired. The village has negotiated a new boundary line agreement with Downers Grove that essentially mirrors what was in place previously, subject to some changes up around the Liberty Park area. This is for another 20-year term, and asking for your approval.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second Scales.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. I, Fire Department, lift assist service fees. Board to consider an ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 42, Article 4, Division 2, Section 42189. Holy cow, to impose lift assist service fees. Deputy Chief Tom Frank. Have at it, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. What's happening here is there was a state statute change recently that allows municipalities to charge for lift assists only at assisted living and nursing homes. This wouldn't affect private residents at all, but what's being proposed is that for these facilities, we give them 6 free lift assists. After that 6th one, we charge them $250 each time after that. We do go to these facilities, some of them as much as 85 times a year for these type of calls. So this is not a budgetary thing. We're not looking to make money. We're looking to kind of direct them to handle their stuff themselves.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second Scales.
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, M, abatement of property taxes. All right, guys, hang in here with me. Board to consider an ordinance abating taxes heretofore levied for the 2025 property tax cycle to pay debt service on general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017. Its general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2019A. Its general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2019B. Its general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2022A. And its general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2022B of the Village of Westmont in DuPage County. Director Altick.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
I
Board.
feel like I get the harder job there, you know? You should have to say more.
Well, the mayor did most of the work. As he alluded to, the village has a number of alternate revenue bonds, 5 to be exact, and this is used to pay for different things like stormwater, road improvements, and the public works facility. And so, because the village has this alternate revenue pledge, it's a specific revenue pledge. A lot of times, it could be non-normal sales tax, income tax, or utility taxes. And since our revenue streams are sufficient to pay for the bonds on their own, we don't need a property tax backing. So all this is doing is letting DuPage County know we don't need the property tax to be assessed on the tax rolls. We have revenues sufficient to pay for it. We budgeted for this way as part of the budget. This has been an annual thing that we do every year since these bonds have been issued. So this is all we're doing. letting DuPage County know, we're good, we don't need the property taxes, we're good on our own. And so the amount of the debt service payments that we're abating is $2,382,115. If there are any questions, I can field those now.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Scales.
Any questions, comments? Anybody want me to repeat it? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
No.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes,
Oh, you can't, can she change that, John?
Yeah.
All right, we'll let her change it.
I'm thinking about something.
Make the mark.
Yeah,
Hesitated.
we got it in time.
I'm sorry.
All right, motion passes. Moving on. N, property tax levy, Village of Westmont. Board to consider an ordinance adopting the 2025 property tax levy for the Village of Westmont. Director Altick.
So we've now, this is at least the third or fourth time we talked about property taxes. The board passed the aggregate levy November the 20th, I believe. And just earlier tonight, we had a public hearing, and there were no public comments regarding the property tax levy. Again, the village's levy is $11,299,022 and does represent a 4.89% increase. I just want to point out again that when the dust settles, the village is subject to PTEL, the typical household resident will only see a 2.9% increase for the 2025 property tax levy collected in 2026. If there's any questions, I can field those now.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second, Little?
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
I'm going to take my stance as I did at the last meeting, so I'm a no on this one.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on. We did it. We did it, Manager Gunther. Here we go. Oh, property tax levy, Special Service Area 2. Board to consider an ordinance adopting the 2025 property tax levy for the Village of Westmont, Special Service Area 2. Director Altick, bring us home.
Sure. Again, we had a public hearing on this earlier tonight. There were no public comments. And so the total levy for the special service area is $118,140. Does represent a 4.99% increase. And this tax is used to provide a fire service to the Liberty Park neighborhood. If there's any questions, I can take those now.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Go ahead. Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second, Plowman.
Questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
No.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Motion passes. Any miscellaneous items? Hearing none, I just wanted to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whatever you may celebrate. Enjoy the time with your family. And I appreciate all staff's effort to consolidate this big agenda into one meeting so we don't have to meet twice and take everybody back in here away from their families during this wonderful time. So I know this is a little longer, but well done by all. I appreciate it. I do have a request for a big executive session. Are we ready for setting the price for the sale of property owned by the village pursuant to Section 2C6 of the Opens Meeting Act? So do I have a motion to adjourn for this?
Motion to adjourn for reasons stated.
Second, Plowman.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Executive session. There'll be no further business after the meeting. Thank you, everybody.